Madam Chair, your meeting is ready.
Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. We have several guests here, so we're going to, with regard to the agenda, and so we're going to deal with our guests first, so they don't have to sit around for the whole thing.
Oh, shoot, I'd like to.
You're more than welcome to.
Because I love meetings.
I know you do. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Who has an immediate agenda? Either one of you, Becky or Roger?
Right here.
I mean, do you need to leave right away? Are you okay to listen?
Okay. I'll listen for a minute.
Okay. Well, let's start right away with new business. Let's go right to new business. The tourism grant in city parks. We asked Roger to be here. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
From Parks Board. He is chair of our City Parks Board, and we had a number of people at our last meeting questioning and wondering what the sustainability board's role might be. No worries. What the sustainability board's role might be as far as the potential ice rink. And so we couldn't answer some of those questions. And so Roger graciously said he would come and
give us an overview.
Yeah, run interference and tell us what's going on. So I guess one of my questions is a timeline, but that might be later on down the line. Maybe you just want to paraphrase in 50 words here yet, less or less, just what the issue is here.
Well, I'm almost hesitant to even.
Excuse me just a second. I want to interrupt. We're interested in the tourism grant with regard to the city parks.
Yeah.
Not just the ice rink, but the other city parks.
Coal miners.
Right,
well.
right.
And phase one.
Yes, phase one, absolutely, because that's what the money's for, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So I may not know a whole lot more than you folks do. That's.
You might have to move up a little closer. Come up here. We're a cozy group.
Okay.
You two, just
You're welcome
move
to come
your
up.
chair up here. We're a cozy group. You know, come on.
All right.
And we do have
Join.
someone on
Mhm.
the phone.
Yeah, here are the
Yeah.
microphones.
Okay, that's the microphone there.
Okay, and there's one over there
Yep.
too as well.
Yeah.
I guess what I was saying was, before we decide to get a little cozier here, is that I may not know a whole lot more about the status of the projects and the timelines that you folks do. We have had a couple meetings that included the project. Mary Jo, you can kind of interject and fill in things I need to
Thank you.
leave out, or
Thank you, I will.
correct me even if I'm wrong.
You know I will.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. But probably, I think it might have been last summer, was the first time that it was brought to the Parks Board. Tom Kuntz came in.
April.
Was it April? Okay.
I just
So-
listened to it.
Yeah, in fact, you can correct me too, since you're on the Parks Board as well. I know you will too. So I guess it was April that it was first brought to our attention this project was being considered for the grant application, for the tourism grant application. And, I think we had all probably heard a little bit in the background rumors about, that something was going to happen with improvements to the ice skating rink at Lions Park. But they came in and gave us, Tom gave us mainly a little discussion, pretty basic.
They being
Tom
ice.
Kuntz.
Red Lodge Ice.
Red Lodge Ice, yes.
Got it.
And there was also a brief mention about some of the plans for Coal Miners Park. And I think at that time, it was just basically stated that they're looking at a site somewhere to have a sled hill, so that we could hold the snow and provide another recreational activity, for the kids and for visitors of Red Lodge, and that an idea of a Nordic track at Coal Miners Park as well. There wasn't a whole lot of discussion, I think, that time about lighting. You think there was
No.
for that project?
I
But
don't
that was
remember that.
really pretty basic. And then then I attended, and I think probably you folks attended the meeting at the Roosevelt Center, where it was a formal presentation of all the projects.
No, I missed that. When was that?
November 19th.
Yep, November 19th. Great turnout.
It was.
In the Roosevelt Gymnasium there. Lots of questions, lots of comments, lots of concerns by citizens, particularly residents in the High Bug neighborhood, immediately adjacent to the Lions Park ice skating rink area. And then in December, as a result of that meeting, Tom Koontz came in again in December and gave a more detailed plan that had more detailed drawings of what the plan for the ice skating rink would be.
And was that for the Parks Board?
Yeah, it was for
okay.
the Parks Board, sorry. And kind of gave the history of that park being used as an ice skating rink, and in their opinion, the benefits of having the ice skating rink located in that location. Mentioned that they had considered several other locations. I don't think at that time they
I don't
told us
remember them, yeah.
specifically what those other locations were, but after considering some other locations, decided it was the best idea was to continue to have the ice skating rink at that location. And they talked a little bit more in detail about the size of the rink. I think they're talking about an 85 by 200 foot rink. I think probably the impact and the footprint of that proposed project would be considerably larger than that, because there has to be room for a chiller.
What size is it now?
80.
It's 80 by 200,
200.
I think, yeah.
So it's not regulation.
It's not quite regulation. And, so now they're talking about improved, expanded locker area for the hockey players, probably a little more seating capacity for bleachers for spectators, and an area that you could a storage area for the Zamboni, and an area for the chiller when it's in place. And I think that's going to probably increase that footprint. This is my opinion right now speaking. Increase that footprint considerably larger than what they originally talked about.
Well, and someone came to our January meeting, Hope Smith, remember that?
Uh-huh.
And she said it would actually be 200 by 115.
220 by 115, by 115.
Yeah.
To accommodate,
You're going to be taking down trees.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and some trees will have to be removed. The site for the ice skating rink would have to be leveled. At that time, we were still talking about a concrete pad that would have in place the mats for the freezing of the ice implanted into the concrete. There has been some talk about maybe phasing that in and trying the mats, the freezing mats on top of the existing turf at this point, rather than go into concrete, see how that would work first, and maybe trying to, kind of phase into the project. But even at that, you would still have to have some grading work done on the site, because right now it all slopes enough. At one point, I think it'd be at the south end of the rink, you'd have about 2 inches of ice. Right now, you have about 6 inches at the north,
end.
maybe the northwest corner of the rink.
And they're using a lot of water.
And so they're consequently use a lot of water. That would still be the case if you had a turf site rather than a concrete site. I know there's been some concerns about having a permeable or impermeable surface at that location. By the way, this is a little offset, but I was reading through the sustainability master plan the city has, and they confuse the term impermeable and permeable, which I'm surprised somebody didn't correct that in the proofreading. But, so that's kind of where we're at right now. There seems to be some talk that there may be some changes of the plan coming. I'm not sure what
Hi,
those
Deb, are you
changes
listening?
consist of. We've heard today from the mayor that
I'm going to,
they're going to be bringing the plan
Yes.
back to the city council.
Do you want me to,
Tuesday?
excuse me just a second, this is our other member, Deb Muse.
Oh.
Let me see if I can can you just listen in? This is Roger, Mullendorf talking about the ice rink. And let me know if you can hear him, okay?
Can you hear me?
Do you have on speaker? I can hear Jeff.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got you. All good.
Okay, good, thank you.
You bet.
Okay, good. So,
Please go ahead, yeah.
okay. So we were told tonight, right before the meeting, that the mayor, that it's a Tuesday, the 27th, that's the next council meeting. The Red Lodge Ice will be coming back with a presentation again. Maybe there'll be some changes to the plan, maybe not, we don't know at this point. The mayor stated, I think it was a wise move, that meeting will now be held at the Elks Club, so we have a larger capacity. And that this room, the city council chambers, will be sort of an ancillary overflow area. We also had at our last Parks Board meeting in January, we had B.R. Walker from the Yellowstone Wildlife Sanctuary came and spoke under concerned citizens. And so she had a limited time period, but she talked about the sanctuary's issues with the plans at Coal Miners Park regarding the Sled Hill and the Nordic Trek, and the disruption that they may cause the wildlife, the animals within the park. They had a drop-in inspector from the Department of Agriculture, I think, that came in who checks zoos and those type of facilities. And when he heard about the project, he was very concerned about the effect that may have on the animals and how disruptive it might be, and it could eventually lead to them losing their certification or their license to have that type of activity if the effects on the animals were profound enough that it was causing a disruption in their lives. And then that brings up the question of what do you do with the animals, And of course, I don't think anybody wants the wildlife sanctuary to leave Red Lodge, It's a really wonderful asset to have in the community. And
So part of the tourism.
And it's also part of tourism too. The question I had when I was thinking about that later was, the Zoo Montana in Billings has a huge holiday event in the middle of their zoo that lasts several weeks, I think, during the holiday season. Lots of lights, lots of people attracted down there. And I just kind of wonder if there would be something that, if we could talk to those folks or something that we could learn from them about how you can maybe mitigate some of these problems. But their concerns are, of course, lighting, and their concerns about if you have a snowmaking machine for a sled hill, typically snowmaking
for the sled
work
hill?
at night usually.
Well, that's gonna take some water and energy.
And that'll take some water and energy as well, you're right, that's another concern.
These kind of winters.
Right, exactly.
One of my concerns about that site is that's a west-facing slope. And I've taken my grandkids there several times sledding,
Yeah.
and it gets slushy real quick. The drainage isn't very good at the bottom of the hill. In fact, my two youngest grandchildren were afraid to go down, so I got on the little soft sled to show them how it's done, and I ended up right in the puddle. And that made their day. They thought that was the funniest thing they'd seen.
That was more fun than going down the hill.
Yeah, that was
Right,
drenched
right.
wet, but having a western aspect on that slope, it warms up and it doesn't hold snow really well. And I think even with a snowmaking machine, that might be a challenge. But that's just, a problem I can see that maybe there's a way to mitigate that too. So I guess that's kind of up to date where we are on this thing. I think.
I'd like to interject
Yeah.
with the Sanctuary wisely has a lawyer on board. I'm sure you read the
Yep,
letter.
I did.
It was an excellent letter.
Yeah.
I was proud of them for coalescing their voice to one person, and she said that they are ready and able to protect their property, And that was, and then, at the end, she wanted a meeting with them, which they had, with Nick Gaddy and somebody else from Beartooth Trails. So I'm proud of them, because they're victims,
Mm-hmm.
and they're taking the high road. And so I just want to interject that.
I think that's a good point, and another person that I'm kind of proud of, and I guess I'm impressed with, is Nick Gaddy taking upon himself to go meet with their board. I mean, it's kind of like Daniel going to the dead of lines, right? No pun intended. But, and so I think that's good that, you know, we're trying to listen to each other, and we're trying to get concerns. You know, this is an issue that has a lot of emotions attached to it, and it has the ability to be really divisive, I think, in the community. But I think it has to be done right. You know,
I heard it was a good meeting, so.
yeah, the concerns, I think, you know, with the Yellowstone Wildlife Sanctuary is noise and lighting, and even increased use of the park, you know, and the effect it may have on the wildlife. A lot of the concerns, I think, with the ice rink is if the purpose of this grant is to increase tourism, which is the tourism grant, and to extend the season, does that extend the impact on the neighborhood as well? And is that going to extend the disruption maybe that the neighborhood experiences from that activity? And is that site adequate, large enough? And that's a concern I have.
Yeah.
Is that the right site now if it's to increase tourism?
I looked at Brian Hanna's report, and I Google mapped every one of those rinks that he used, and they got nice space. Trees and parking, it's not none of them are in our neighborhood. The one I liked the most, I would recommend to look at was Winthrop, Washington. That was a nice site, and I don't think the city is supporting it. They're big fees.
Self-sufficient.
Yes, and so that's another thing that appeals to me as a taxpayer is they've worked out a way that selling passes or entrance fees to support it. Donations, fundraising, but I would look at the Winthrop, Washington site as one that of all of them, that was my one that I thought pointed to a bigger space. And now it's new to us that they want locker rooms. I didn't know they want locker rooms. So every time they write, they want more things.
Yeah, I think locker rooms. I think locker rooms were in the original, the original plan.
That'd be huge. So Ann, is Winthrop about the same size?
Oh, it's up in the Methal Valley.
Right. But it's about the same.
Yeah, a couple thousand, yeah.
And it probably wouldn't hurt to have a contingent to go out there and take a look at that.
I've looked at it, it's 11 hours. It's a great winter to drive.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Yeah, so far, so, but.
I've in a previous life, I've had some experience with ice skating rinks, outdoor ice skating rinks. And every area is different, so you can't say what happens in Red Lodge, we'll work in Red Lodge, we'll work everywhere else, or vice versa, or won't work. But my experience has been that one of the biggest problems of keeping really good ice, and I've had an ice skating rink that had a chiller and had a Zamboni, and the whole thing was an outdoor rink in the center of town. But eventually we had to move it to a semi-enclosed area with a roof because the sun, and we get a lot of sun here, is really hard on the ice. It kind of eats it up.
Roger, what town was this in?
It's Carson City, Nevada.
Okay, got it.
Now, Carson City's got milder winters than we have, but still they get cold, and you can make ice and everything, but without having some kind of a shade structure, it's really difficult, even if you have a chiller and a Zamboni. I'm familiar with an ice skating rink, a city ice skating rink in Laramie, Wyoming, that had actually cables going across with kind of like canvas shades, and they actually had a crank, so you could crank it and change the angle of the shade, to follow the sun. Now that takes a lot of manpower to, you know, to respond like that and go out and do
That's
it.
what I was gonna say. We have to remember that it's mostly volunteer. It's all volunteer.
We have to remember
labor.
that all the time.
Yeah, it's
Which is a
not,
problem,
well,
Um,
yeah, it could be.
If it's run by volunteers and the
Mhm.
volunteer base falls through, then we've got a big concrete pad.
Right,
The one in Winthrop has some employees.
Yeah,
yeah. See,
but,
we
the ice skating
don't
rink,
have anyone
the ice
dedicated.
skating rink, like I said, in
Of the city.
Carson City, it was finally moved to a facility that had a roof over it. It was like an
Yeah.
open
Yeah.
pavilion.
Mhm.
And that's been successful now, but, so my thought is that, if we went ahead and built that ice skating rink there, I think that probably it wouldn't be too many years before there might be some discussion about having to put a roof over it too.
Yeah.
Or some kind of shade structure.
Well, and the other thing we talked about in Parks Board is, you know, if it's in a city park, at some point, it will probably fall to the city to maintain it. And
If volunteers fall through.
You're right.
I think they expect that.
Well,
Yeah, and I think we,
as a city, I think so too.
I think
So-
we should
I
expect
would.
that.
We have to keep that in mind also.
And, you know, that is something that I think we, on the Parks Board, needs to always be aware of, that we have a lot of volunteer efforts in this town. I'm amazed by the volunteer, culture we have. However, we have to remember that anything that's built on city property is gonna be owned by the city.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be that in the future, the city's gonna have to take over the maintenance of that. And I'll give you an example, the Lions Park itself, Lions Club does the bulk of the maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys aren't getting any younger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's harder and harder to recruit young people into service organizations now because people don't have the time.
Right.
And the city pays for the upkeep of the gazebo
Yeah,
there in Lions Park.
yeah. And, you know,
Well,
you look at Pride Park and a lot of the
Garden
garden club
club,
ladies,
mhm.
you know, bless their heart, they do a
Mhm.
great job down there, but they're not getting younger either, you know?
Right.
And I'm-
I think they recruited some 60-year-olds.
And they're the young ones. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the young ones.
So I have a question. You referenced Winthrop, Washington, the site there, and also a site in Carson City, Nevada, places that have, rinks that with cooling features and all that kind of stuff, especially Winthrop. Did that, enhance, do they have any data as far as it enhancing tourism? Did more people come to town as
You
a
know,
result of that?
I don't know. I don't know if they've done a sort of an economic impact study on that ice skating rink. I can tell you that, one of the nice things about the new, facility that they moved their ice skating rink into it, now they do their farmer's market out in there, and that provides shade. They had a really shady parking lot downtown that they used to put their, farmer's market in, and it was a really nice farmer's market. But they lost that parking lot, and so they moved it over to another parking lot that was exposed to the sun, and it almost killed their, you know, their farmer's market.
Yeah.
May I interject?
Mhm.
It's one of the reasons why the farmer's market went from downtown to the park was because of the heat. You put that cement slab on there and they're right back in that heat again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as much as the farmer's market people say they want it,
Yeah.
they're gonna end up in the same situation with heat again.
Mhm.
Which is another question I had for you, is this one in Carson City, is it?
Mhm.
Is that a cement slab? Or
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's a cement slab. It, you know,
I've got it written down.
there's a long story to that facility, and
Carson City.
over a couple of beers, I could tell you a lot of funny stories about that facility. We don't have time for that or the beer right now, so.
Here, I guess, I'm interested in the economic impact because the whole idea of the tourism grant is to bring in more tourists. And, with the kind of winter we've had so far, local businesses are suffering because we aren't getting the skiers.
Yep.
And we aren't getting the snow people that come on a regular basis. And, you know, we as a city need to look at climate change and is this what's going to happen? And how can we enhance, you know, especially shoulder season, but not necessarily shoulder season. Now we're enhancing our winter season because we don't have a winter season. So that's always tucked, you know, as a downtown business person, tucked in the back of my mind. So.
I agree, and I think as a board, we should think about maybe having someone come talk and explain this to us, because this is crazy, scary, but I don't know if there's a meteorologist in Billings that would come and, you know, come to senior sits or something, but I just have more questions than answers, and I have no answers, all questions about, is this it? Is this our future?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is Deb. I agree with Ann and everybody. I think, you know, one thing I don't think has been brought up is also it's going to take a lot of electricity to cool it down.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can put a shade on it, but shades are shade. You know, what kind of shade? Because if you have a shade in the winter, you lose out sort of being on the outdoors a little bit, you know, and having the snowflakes fall on you, which I don't think is going to happen that much anymore. I think we're getting so warm now, we aren't going to be able to support ice without a lot of effort and money and electricity. Mm-hmm. You know, I think is it going to be worth it? You know, is it really going to be, I mean, what are people going to come in the summer and go, oh, I mean, how long are we to keep this open? You know, this ice rink, 4 months out of the year?
Less than that. It'll be less than that.
Less than that.
December, January, February, March.
They're talking.
I don't think it pencils out.
January, February, March.
I love skating. Believe me, I grew up in northern, you know, in Minnesota and in Massachusetts. We skated all the time. We walked to ponds and skated. We had hockey rinks set up by the city. We had all that, speed skating, a warming hut with a fire. It was wonderful. Mm-hmm. I hate to see it go, but it is going. It is melting. You know, things are not going to get colder in the future because of climate warming. It's so visible here. It's, you know, it's hard to ignore.
It is.
So, same with the mountain, you know, and the rivers. I mean, everything. Water is not, you know, freezing and doing what it used to do.
There was a steady.
Maybe how about roller skating?
Well, you could, you know, and that's, I mean, if you have a concrete pad, you could. The facility in Carson City actually had a roller derby league. Women's roller derby league.
Those are fun.
That's a hoot.
Right up my alley.
Right up your alley.
So, you know,
I know who I'd take out.
You know, I'm a recreation-oriented guy, and I think ice skating is important for Red Lodge, and I think it's a great activity, and I think it does have my family in Billings comes over here to skate.
I love skating, roller skating, the old-fashioned roller skates, not the inline skates.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about ice skating, and I think it's a great activity, and it's very popular, and we probably need. Let's just put weather aside for a minute. Mm-hmm. We probably need. It would be nice to have a better facility for, you know, our ice skaters and our hockey people. I'm not sure that's the location. Maybe it is. But I think you can continue to make ice unless we turn into something like, you know, Louisiana or
Well, we are
Georgia.
on the edge of a desert, you know.
Yeah.
That's,
well, people have a Currier and Ives view of Red Lodge. You know, honestly, they do.
Yeah, they do.
They want to come to Red Lodge. They love the quaint downtown, you know, the family-friendly ski hill, and, you know, the ice skating rink is just part of that, you know, that tug at your heart, you know, the stroll with the horse and wagon. I mean, that kind of stuff. That's what people think of in Red Lodge.
No, I think it is an asset. It just seems like I walked by there today, and that's like half the park. And if it's going to be bigger than that, half that park is concrete slab. most of the year. And what's the plan for that? What should be done with the I mean, you can walk on it, you could skate on it, but it doesn't look like a park.
Anymore.
Well, you know, so in his presentation, you know, Tom Kuntz said, well, we would landscape. You know, we put shrubs in, and, you know, it's not just gonna be this horrible slab. And, you know, then maybe we'd have tents up and, you know, I mean, canopies and that kind of thing in the summer for various things. I don't know. I don't have an opinion because I don't skate, but I do believe that we need, we loved it when we first moved here, and we drove by and we're like, oh,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a skating rink. It was
We all love
great.
it.
Yeah,
The
we
cruiser
love
ride.
it. And
Yeah.
they, you know, they like it because it's where it is, the location, ice. And they were pretty adamant, at least in December, that they were never going to cover it, that they wanted it to be open air. So, and, you know, he said, nothing's been decided, you know, we're asking people what they think at this point.
So who's making the decision, ICE or the city? Who?
Well,
the city.
the city,
The city has to
because
approve
it's in
it.
a park.
But who is in charge of the actual future of it and what
Yeah.
happens?
You'll miss this, Julie. There's the next city city council meeting is going to be
Mhm.
next Tuesday.
Well, Tuesday, yeah, that's.
The
Yeah,
27th.
Next Tuesday, and a week from tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And it's going to be held at the Elks Club because they're expecting an
Yeah.
overflow crowd,
Yeah.
because Red Lodge Ice is going to make, another presentation, I
Okay,
believe,
good.
okay?
Yeah.
And then there'll be
Good.
overflow here as well, if anybody, you know,
Yeah.
can't fit in over there,
Roger,
whatever.
is that what we recommended to Red Lodge Ice, that they now, since they presented to us, that the next step was to go to city council or the land
Yeah,
use
we didn't
committee?
really make a formal
Okay.
recommendation, but in the discussion, somebody from the audience asked, you know, what's the next step?
Hmm.
And, is the board gonna make a recommendation? And I said something to the effect that I think we're waiting for direction from the city council. And, you know, and I think maybe it's gonna land in our lap here
Mhm.
fairly soon.
Mhm.
And then I think there's all kinds of, there's a multitude of decisions that could come out of that, you know,
How many questions we've had today.
Yeah. you know,
Seems like it's a little early to get jumping on that project, if we're
Right.
not ready for it.
I agree, but
well, there's a dollar and cents of it too, you know, in terms of operation and maintenance and, you know.
Yeah, is there any estimate on the cost of electricity? 'Cause that would be the city's job, right?
Brian
There
Hanna,
are,
Brian
yeah.
Hanna put together, and I think he
Okay.
was looking
I
at,
forwarded something to Corey
That was from Al Bloomer.
yeah, Al
no,
Bloomer.
Brian Hanna.
Both of them did, both of
Yeah.
them, I think,
Oh,
did that.
okay.
But
I thought
think
it was
we were
from
looking
Brian.
at
Okay.
Average about $4,000 or $5,000 a month, for, I think, electricity.
I could look up.
So
the-
right now, they use like 88,000 gallons of water.
Okay, yeah.
If the park is leveled, at the very least, and they flood, you know, what they have now, they would use half, apparently, or less than half. That's what they say.
I don't agree with that at all.
Because I guess one end is thicker than the other end.
I don't know that it has that much to do with that though either. I mean, you're still looking at the same size rink, and they're still gonna have to reflood occasionally. Cause
Well,
it's,
they say
especially if it melts.
They say the sloping is an issue.
I'm quite sure it's an issue, 'cause
Yeah.
if you go stand in the park, you know it's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that you're still gonna use, they're still gonna use more than, it's gonna be more than the half that they're telling you. I'm almost sure of it. Again, they also have to reflood it occasionally, 'cause like now, you know, you have days like the other day where it was all melting down, it's evaporating. You gotta re-ice it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And how they do that, especially now that they want the Zamboni out there, is gonna be different than the way they have the Zamboni now, which is the little,
Mm-hmm.
all they have right now is they have a little walker one that has a hose attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Be much different when you have a large Zamboni,
Mhm.
so. Can I make public comment right now on all of this, or can I not make public comment on this?
Sure, we're a casual group.
We are a
Okay.
casual group.
So I will just say that, Becky Larson, I live on 415 North Hauser, so I'm right across the street. And I have no qualms about the ice skating rink. I love it too. However, I don't want a year-round slab of cement on that park that is over 100 years old and been in this community forever. That's my thing. If the ice people are looking at doing like a, just a, something that they can put up seasonally, and they can get it up there in November, and they can keep it up there until March, that's wonderful. We're all for it. The entire neighborhood is for it. We just don't want the cement slab. Because I can promise you too, that when you talk about how you guys are gonna have to maintain it, when it comes to summer maintenance, no one's gonna be out there watering shrubs. No one's gonna be out there putting up tents and affording tents and little pavilions and fun little things to do with that. So it's gonna be a cement slab all
And
summer.
with radiating heat.
Radiating heat in that neighborhood all summer. My concern with everything else is, has there been any kind of impact studies done at all? We've seen nothing. Impact for wildlife, impact for lights, impact for sound, impact for what we're going to have to pay for as taxpayers, because if this goes up, we are going to pay for that. The city's not going to. It's going to come out of our taxes. So that is an extreme concern of those of us that are just that are just citizens of Red Lodge, Montana, that are thinking, what are we going to have to end up paying to keep this thing, the cement going? I can promise you that once that cement starts to fade and they start to have cracks, you're not going to be able to put roller derby people out there, because your ice people are going to say, no, you guys can't do things like this out on here because you're ruining our cement, and now we can't have ice out there because now we have big cracks in cement. So there's going to be that. And then there is, who is going to maintain that park, because that is going to be maintenance too, all year long. And who's going to maintain that? Who's going to pay for that? Your tax dollars. And that is an extreme concern of mine. And like I say, again, I go back to impact studies. We have seen no impact studies at all. And without those, how can we make any kind of decision about this at all from the point of Red Lodge, Montana? Any of us as citizens. Has DEQ come in looked? They're a big part of the environmental situation here in Montana. And have they come in and looked at this? Have they talked to the ICE people? There's just, I think that, and I'm as just a citizen, I'm surprised that they're already going into putting out this first phase one, and there's been nothing out there in the community as far as, no one's come to my door or sent me an email or sent me a piece of paper saying, hey, take this survey. It's an impact survey on electricity, on water, on lights, on what's it going to do. They want to take the V that's over there, and they want to make that a parking lot, which means you're going to have parking lot lights out there that you're going to have to pay for also. So all these things that they're thinking about, supposedly it's $400,000 now, and the second phase is another $400,000. But according to what we've been doing as far as research, that ice skating rink, if they're looking at it the way they're looking at it, is $1.3 million to $1.5 million. That's not the $800,000 that you guys are thinking you're going to pay for. So these kind of things are all kinds of things that just rolls around my head at night, and I'm thinking, we're putting the cart in front of the horse at this point.
Yeah.
Because we have no studies done. We have nothing done. So you've got your cart in front of the horse. We've done nothing to even look at this as a community that I'd like to think has some pretty, we're pretty high-thinking people, educationally high-thinking people, and we're just thinking tourism, which is great. I'm not against tourism at all, However, what about the community? What about this community? And I don't believe that there have been any other places that they have looked.
Everyone else is looking at them.
But them. Everybody else, we have all, as community members, have all put it out there. What about this field? What about this space? What about that space? But we keep hearing that, and that's all we're hearing. So I don't think that anybody, ICE, or the ICE or the steering committee from the foundation have even looked at any other places at all in this community.
I'm surprised, talking about communication, that the wildlife sanctuary is responding, now, it seems like that they should have been in on conversations earlier on in the deal.
Yes. And I'm speaking, I'm sure I'm speaking out of turn here, but I think a lot of it had to do with, because of the organizations that they work with, they had to step back and look at what they could and couldn't do, how much they could say to the city, because they are not just they're not Becky Larson walking off the street saying all the stuff that she wants to say about it. They are an organization that are bound to a lot of other organizations. So I think they kind of had to step back and look at what they could, couldn't, shouldn't be saying. Hence the reason why they ended up with a lawyer, because that puts them in a place of knowing exactly what they can say and do.
Okay.
Well, and Becky too, this is Deb, I mean, this money we're getting supposedly to do the rink, isn't it a package deal? Isn't it more than just a rink and more money than that? I mean, isn't it for other things? Or is it only for the rink?
I believe there's five projects.
Four different projects.
Okay.
And but supposedly 400 of it is for the rink, correct? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I might be wrong.
And is this you have to take it all. If you take the you have to do it by package. You can't say, no, we're not going to do the rink without not getting the rest of the money.
Like the restrooms
Well, the restrooms are being built.
Yes, they are.
Well, that's at the foundation.
Yeah.
And then
No, that's the tourism money.
That's what we're getting, that's what this is, that's what ICE is.
Yes, but what they're spending at Roosevelt is the tourism.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right,
okay, I thought you
right.
said it was the foundation.
No, well, it is from the foundation.
Well.
It is a grant from the foundation
But they
for
got,
the tourism.
No,
well,
they got tourism money from the Department
from
of
the
Commerce.
state, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're part of it's the bathrooms in their kitchen.
That's
But
part of the
what-
same
but-
grant.
So this is very confusing, right, so this is very
Is it?
confusing
Oh.
then, because what was said in the meeting is that the grant was applied for almost 2 years ago, and it was denied because they didn't have all their ducks in a row. And so the foundation had to apply for this tourism grant again. So this grant is coming through that tourism, but through the foundation.
Oh, it's being they're just the
If they're
pass-through.
funding through the
Yeah,
foundation.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how all
Okay,
these grants do.
sorry.
Yeah.
They fund through the foundation. So yes. So yes, I believe that the Roosevelt is getting their
Yes,
their
they're
catering kitchen and their
They
bathroom.
torn up at the moment.
Yep, and then,
No bathroom.
the chamber is having a kind of an architectural
Yep.
rendering, and then so is the Arts Guild. And then the ice skating rink is their money for that.
And
Yes, there are
Como.
five
Yep.
things.
There are five.
Sorry,
Five.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
again, there's 5 things.
So okay, you guys, I'm gonna cut this off because we have to leave at 5 because Chrissy has to lock up, okay?
Okay.
And we have a few more things on the agenda. There is going to be a meeting a week from tomorrow, Tuesday, the 7th.
Mhm.
It's going to be the regular council meeting.
At
Red Lodge Ice is, I think there will be plenty of time for public comment. This is not a done deal.
Mm-mm.
As a sustainability board, I think we should tuck it away. I don't know if we need to make a recommendation or not. We have not been approached to make a recommendation at all. This is
Okay.
really kind of a Parks Board thing
Mhm.
and certainly a city council thing.
But we had citizens show up
Yes.
Okay, good idea.
Yeah.
based
Master
on
plan we
the,
talked
Yeah.
about, yeah.
energy conservation plan.
Right,
Yeah.
energy conservation.
So we're gonna move on. Becky,
What
don't
time
go
is the
anywhere.
meeting?
Roger,
What time is that meeting?
6 o'clock,
6:00.
Okay, and it's where?
Elks Club.
Elks Club.
so,
Are you leaving?
I can
Yes.
stick around if you
Okay.
need
No.
me for
Oh, the only thing I'm looking for is a parks plan. I can't find a link to the parks plan.
If you go to, I can send it to you. If
Would
give
you
me
do that?
Yeah, if you give me your information.
Yep. Well, I'm not gonna do it now because I've got my phone here and
I
I
think
can't walk and chew gum.
didn't you send it to us?
Mhm.
I can send it to you.
Would
Okay.
you? Okay. Okay, thank you.
I just have
Will.
one quick kind of procedural, so I know what's going on. So phase 1 is moving forward and they
No.
they have to go through city council. for
Yes.
any-
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But just the ICE project, because that's the only one that's taking place on city property.
No,
And the coal miners.
Coal
And the
miners.
coal miners.
I mean,
The
those-
skate
Those-
park and the
Those two have to go through
New
city
Nordic.
council.
No, bathrooms, everything's on city property. Bathrooms are,
What?
Well, the chamber is city,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
chamber is city.
Well, but theirs is just a study. They just need,
Oh, it's
No.
not owned, but it's on city property. I mean,
Yeah,
No,
it's in
it's
the
not.
city.
they
Yeah,
just want a handicapped
But it's not
accessible bathroom.
yeah.
Okay, guys, we're moving on.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Roger.
Thank you
I don't
very
think
much.
anyone has a
Appreciate it.
problem with that.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Roger. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
we're gonna, oh God, do we have a secretary? We need to get a secretary.
But you've been taking notes.
I'll take notes. I'll be the secretary. Okay.
It's
Okay.
all been recorded, isn't it?
And approval of December minutes, they look great to me. What do you say?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Let's say yes. Okay, and I think Joy did those minutes, so they were great.
Thanks, Joy.
We've had a lot of public comment. I put this under old business, update on Roman Theater Productions and the recycling PSAs. And that's why
I'm here.
Becky is here.
I didn't really come to complain,
Oh.
although I get really riled up and then I start to
We
complain
liked
about
your
everything,
citizen
so.
comment. Thank you
Thank you.
very much. I'm so pleased that people are participating in their community.
It's Red Lodge, and we
Yep.
all need to participate in it
Yep.
and know what's going on, so.
Exactly.
So we sat down and had a lovely little meeting the other day on the Roman Theater, PSAs. I think we're rolling already. I've already had a discussion with Skylar. So you had a discussion with Skylar, so I had a discussion with Skylar. I'm thinking that, he said something about, a contract with you guys, and I told him that's between you guys.
He didn't know, I didn't have any idea.
Okay,
We really
okay.
don't have a budget, so
Okay.
he has to give us an idea of what Skylar is the videographer, right?
Oh, from the foundation.
Yeah,
Right.
from the foundation,
And they
he's
need
willing to
that
do-
because that's not, they're usually live.
We don't do that.
They don't
Yeah,
video.
we don't do that.
So, we need a videographer, why not get a pro?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
anyway, so,
So, yep, so I just told him that what we're doing as the Roman Theater is just community working together, so we're not feeling there's no charge or anything, we're just doing volunteer work,
Thank
just
you.
putting this up here, so I just wanted to make that clear, because when I talked to him, he said something about working out something with you, and I needed to make sure that you guys know that the Roman Theater is not looking to
Right.
charge
No,
anybody or
thank you.
for any
Right.
fees for this.
right.
So what we'll do is we'll put up like a 3 to 5 minute little kind of trailer, basically is what it is.
Doesn't have to be that long.
Yep, and we talked about making it fun, and I've already come up with some little fun ideas that we can use, things like that. So Zach and I have been kind of talking back and forth already. Zach's big thing is just like, put it together and give it to me. I don't care. I mean, that's what it is, because that's what he is. He's
Right.
just that guy that just plugs it into his computer and then makes sure it's run for the,
Oh,
yeah. So, but I think here in a week, Skylar and I will get together with some actors. We'll come up with some really fun little things, and we'll get that going. We also talked about, Zach and I talked a little bit today, and you guys can think about this, because this is kind of your gig. I think there is I don't know if they call themselves the Green Team, or the Green Club up at the high school. And I think because they're kids, and because they're so tuned into Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all those kind of things, I really feel like you need to pull them into this. And if they want to be a part of it, they can create some PSAs that they can put out on TikTok for you guys.
But there's supposed to be 1 or 2 members on this board, and I guess that's falling through the cracks.
Well, what happened is the kids that were on the green team, that were on the board, are involved in everything else.
That's always
And
hard.
so this
Or they
was,
graduated.
or they graduated.
Okay.
But we do have the green team, for example, working with the Bear Committee, and they put together a video on how to open a bear can.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
You know, and it was a great.
Where are they playing that? What is it playing on?
Well, it's gonna be on a
It's a
QR code, linked to the city's Bear Aware stuff.
So while you're working with these kids though and doing this, I would suggest to them to get it out on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Because, it's just, and it shouldn't cost them anything to just, I mean, if there's kids on TikTok, they can throw it out there. I mean, Zach could do it for you, but he just do some grungy little thing for you. But, I mean, if it's something it's just something that we thought about. If you
Absolutely.
guys want to
No,
just
it's an excellent idea.
push that just a little bit farther.
Okay.
And look at, you know, I don't do TikTok. I stay off Facebook and I rarely do Instagram. So I told Zach, I said, well, that's not me.
Right.
Plus, I'm just not that computer savvy.
Right.
And Zach's like, but those kids are. That's
kids
what
are.
they
Right.
do all the
Right.
time.
Mhm.
So thinking about that, if you still have a couple of kids that want to work and do that, then let me have their information.
So are you thinking about having the green team be, actors or actresses?
If they want to,
or-
absolutely.
Somehow involved in the production?
Absolutely that too.
And then putting it
Yep.
out there.
Because
Sure.
we can talk.
They can write it and they
Yep,
can act it.
Yep, because that is another thing that Zach had said to me this morning. I don't want to say anything that might step on toes or hurt people's feelings, but if you can get those kids to put that kind of stuff together, you don't pay a videographer like Skylar to do it for you. Kids are doing it for you. They're going to do it for free, because they just like to do that stuff.
Well, you know, Kate
okay.
Belinda is the
Yes,
sponsor.
and she would be a great person to
Of the
just,
Green Team.
talk to. And then I have talked to Kate Belinda, because she was in the theater here during Christmas.
Mm.
And we were talking about some things that would be really great for the kids to do and be a part of at the Roman Theater and everything else.
Mhm.
So she'd probably be really on board with it. So if you have a connection with those green kids, and you have a couple of them that want to do this, then I would be glad to work, Zach and I, because Zach's done enough, like, he's done enough TikTok type of things that he could help the kids get the TikTok stuff out.
Mm.
And it's up to you. I mean, if you still want that kind of real professional, videographed kind of thing on the screen, Zach's just trying to find ways of keeping you from having to pay money to do things.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's just.
I
looking at-
agree.
Yeah.
I think we can
There's
have fun
something-
with this and
Yeah.
go back to the green team.
Yep,
We've used
yep.
them before,
Yeah, 'cause I was
Becky, a
like-
lot.
Yeah, because I mean, I was like looking at, you had the importance of cleaning and rinsing recyclables to prevent contamination. I thought how fun it would be to have someone standing at a sink with like suds way up to here and suds all of their body.
Mhm.
And then I went out and looked up like, you know, what the, you know, what it is, why you have to wash your stuff. It's not about the contamination, it's about the mess and the smell for the guys, that, you know, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You know, so I came up with some really fun things, and those are some fun things that some kids could do.
Yeah.
If they want to act, and I would be glad to work with them on that one.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna keep working in this direction. I will
Okay, thank
continue
you.
to talk to Skylar
Okay.
if you want me to, and get with him. But if you've got a couple of green kids that want to do this, and plus they get their volunteer hours out of this,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
and it's good for them
Yeah.
that way. And if there's any of them, especially that want to have anything to do with production or sound or anything like that, this is a great opportunity for them to learn to do this too. And, you know, Zach and I are all for it, you know, so. But we'll keep moving in the direction of getting some stuff together,
Good.
and,
If you want to, I'll talk to Kate, because I have a personal connection with her.
yeah,
I will do that.
yeah, and then just give her my number and tell
Yeah.
her to give me a buzz. And if she's got some names, she can pass those names on to me, and I will call them up, and we will work together and get this going.
Well,
Okay.
Becky, they did do, she and her son, Kate and
Kate?
her,
Mhm.
did a bear.
They did the bear
They
thing.
did the
bear
bear
one.
thing. They have a QR code.
Yeah,
It's short, it's cute.
yeah, yeah.
He was the actor, I guess.
Yeah.
In a bear costume.
And where did you say they have that up now?
Well, they don't have it up
It's
yet.
just
It's
a QR
supposed to-
code.
Yeah, city government moves slowly.
Yes.
It's going to be on a QR code.
So we
Okay.
thought if we could get these QR codes up around town
Uh-huh.
too, in various spots, that would be good.
We might be able to get little stickers to put up somewhere, you know,
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, scan here for more information.
That is incredibly exciting.
Yeah, we'll have fun with it.
Okay,
We
so
will.
meanwhile, you're moving.
Thank you.
I'm moving.
Is Skylar gonna approach us with a possibility of a contract?
Possibly. I just told him that I would reach out to him next week with, and he and I would get together about my ideas. And,
And
you
then
know,
we would have a better
yep,
idea of
yep,
how much time.
how much time. Yeah, because we want to keep it short, and, you know, he edits, you know, he'll do a little bit, and then he'll stop, and then he does a little bit, and then stops, and then he edits it all together.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit, you know, we have a 5-minute, you know, or a 3-minute PSA might take us almost an entire day to put together, or him an entire day to put together.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, but we'll
Okay.
just work it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, we don't have a budget for this
Right,
right now. So
Right.
we're gonna have to have we're gonna have to make a request to
exactly. And, yeah,
the city council.
yeah, and that was one of the reasons why Zach and I got to talking this morning a little bit more about it. Was because Skylar made it sound, and I may be incorrect here, but he made it sound like he was trying to figure out how much, what kind of a contract he needs to have with you guys, which I was thinking, he's thinking of charging you then? I don't know. Yeah.
He would charge us.
So then Zach and I are like, there's kids out there that do this crud all the time. They're on TikTok all the time. They know what they're doing. We can do this
Making videos.
with a bunch of kids.
That'd be a funny video.
Yep.
Us trying to understand TikTok.
Yeah.
That itself is a funny video. Because that's what I told Zach. I said, well, don't look at
And
me.
QR codes.
Yeah, and QR codes.
QR codes.
But that's another thing that Zach can put together for you too.
Okay.
If Skylar doesn't help us, he can do the QR code. Zach knows how to do those.
Okay. Okay.
Think about that.
Awesome.
Like,
Thank you.
again, I don't want to take any business.
We
away
could
from
put
Skylar.
QR codes on our bags, our grocery bags.
Well,
That would-
the thing is,
That would
Skylar
take you somewhere to watch a movie about recycling.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yep. Skylar's gonna get, he'll get a credit
absolutely.
on screen
Yes,
at the Roman.
Yes.
That's part of it too.
that's it, and it's good for him.
Yep.
So, yeah. So anyway, yes, I will have
We
meetings
gotta
here.
go at 5:00 and she needs to lock us out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, oh my goodness, we got through two things on our great agenda.
We got,
Save your agenda for next month.
Yeah, same thing next month.
I'll be here.
Motion
Where do you
to,
find it?
Chrissy does. Well, wait a minute, let me go over here.
Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, everybody.
very much.
Thanks, Becky, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Becky.
Well, that's all good information, yeah.
Yeah.
We hadn't thought about
Information
that.
tonight. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody told me how to do this one time. I'm gonna have Chrissy do it.
Okay, that's probably a good idea. Meeting ended.
Oh, there. We did kind of have talk about having quarterly, Mary Dell, doing quarterly meetings rather than.
Come on in.
You could, oh, go ahead, cut us off.
Yeah,
Tell,
we're leaving.
we're done.
Boot scoot and boogie babe.
Yeah, just,
We're leaving.
so,
Lock up.
you need to
Yeah.
set everything down because we're inept.
recording.
We're inept, thank you.
Yeah. Good, so much.